Okay, it's 10 o'clock and we're going to get started. Marty could not be here today, so I am going to be um, doing the presentation. Let me know if you have any questions. This is a EMS Regional Service Destination Round 2 is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, the Regional Service Destination came around about almost 2 years ago. We partnered with healthcare strategists and they did a year-long assessment on the needs of EMS in South Dakota. So on our website, there is the assessment for you guys to review. Part of this grant is we ask that you go through the assessment, look at some of those areas that need some improvements, and come up with a plan or a project to help with those improvements. And we have the link there if you need it too. Next one. Okay, the goal of this is we want 911 service for everyone in the state. So we know that we struggle in some of our areas as far as response times. So try to focus on how can we accomplish this goal as far as getting everybody 911 service. And ideally, it would be best if we could do it under 30 minutes. But we do know we have some struggles out there. Next one. So these are the deadlines for the ground 2. We have opened it up on August 1st, and the deadline is September 30th at 5 p.m. Central Time. Yes, I know it says you will be anticipated notification on the 14th. The state offices are closed then. We are going to try to get them out before then. So just anticipate that. And then the deadline is, this one's going to be longer than the first one. So it's going to go from around the 14th to November 29th of 2026. So you have quite a long time to work on your projects and give us some feedback on them. Next one. Some of the things it can and can't be used for. The eligible participants, ambulance service, private organizations, healthcare facilities, anything pertaining to EMS. Things it cannot be used for is you cannot build an ambulance building with it or any other structure. It cannot be used for wages, salaries, or benefits of EMS providers. So if you're hurting for people, you cannot hire somebody because after the year and a half is done, then the funding ends. Then how are you going to sustain those people? It's only going to benefit you for about a year and a half. Technology not related to EMS, and we cannot purchase any food or beverage with it. Grants applications are on our website. You can go there, go to EMS, or just scroll down on the main page. There's 2 ways to get to it, and click on the grant application. Submit all applications to this email address. It goes into a group, and any one of us can open it, look at it, and we'll be compiling those as they come in. Next one. Okay, we had some issues during the first round. So be prepared that you will have to do a financial capacity questionnaire. As soon as you are accepted, that will be sent back out to you to be completed and returned. There will be extra paperwork besides the grant. Next one is the EUI number. This has caused some problems with quite a few. You will need to have an EUI number. After you get accepted, we will be asking for that number. If you want, start the process now. It does take a couple weeks or a few weeks to get it if you don't already have one. We've had a few that had issues. They can't get their number. They've got a different number. Um, if you have a DUNS number, that's the old number. You should have a new number. So make sure that that is in place because that has held up quite a few of the contracts. Next one. We wanted to give some examples. People are always asking, what can we use it for? These were some from the first one, the first round that was awarded. You got regional training. One group is doing a quality assurance and performance improvement program for EMS. We have classes, continuing ed, train the trainer with the instructors to get a better pass rate. One is looking at the shortage study on how we can recruit more EMS personnel. One is doing an interfacility transport, coordinated to and from, so that way you're not traveling empty. You can make money both ways. And we did fund some equipment the first round. But what we are looking for is something that will sustain EMS in the future, not just a few years, but something that will help fix the problem. And this is a good time for you guys to think about what is it we need that we can keep everyone, available to 911 services. We have a little over 5 million. Well, we have over 5 million left to award. So think of your projects. Go ahead and get that on the form. There are extra things I'm going to need when you send it in, which is on the application, W-9 and a budget and some of that, but it's all spelled out on the application. So is there any questions for round 2?
This is Matt with AMR and Peer. I just have one question. We're working on a project with probably 4 or 5 of our regional services around us. So when we go to submit this, obviously there's a cost for the one, and then some of the services or some people might have an associated cost for their services part, but it's all going to be a different price. So do we all submit these things separate, or do we just kind of submit them together so it's kind of all the same project, or how would you like that?
You could submit it all together. Just when you do your budgeting, kind of itemize it so then we know what cost is with what services and what's the cost differences. I mean, is it because they have more personnel than you have or vice versa? And that's going to be the cost difference. And then we just need one person to oversee the grant process. If they want to do individual, they could do that, but it might be easier just for one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be easier for us to submit it and then just work with them and help submit theirs as well because they're not quite sure of the process.
Julie, this is
Yes.
Jamie in Rapid City. Sorry, I was a few minutes late, so you might have gone over this, but is there a range for how much we can apply for this round?
It's the same as the last one. I think it was 500,000 would be the max.
No, as the gentleman just said, if we do a collaborative application that involves multiple entities, does that allow for asking for more if it's divided out amongst several service providers?
We would look at that if, like I said, if you kind of break it down in your budgeting, so we kind of know who's all included and the cost of each one.
Great, thank you.
Julie, this is Sherry. So is the 500,000 per region, not per service, right?
Well, we're going with per application is what was put in there before. And I'm assuming we're staying with that. So if that would change, I would let you guys know. I mean, put in what you plan for your projects. And if it's over that, we'll let you know and we'll discuss it.
Okay, thank you.
I might just chime in here too. This is Emily Keel. Hi, everyone. I think what Julie's saying is very, very much applicable and accurate. I would just advise that if your project plan, because the goal is to regionalize and to bring together services in each of your areas, right? And connecting and building up your community and that readiness piece. I would advise that if you are collaborating with other services or entities and you think it's going to exceed that amount, that's okay. Go ahead, submit that anyways. And then maybe you have a backup plan or proposal too that we would look at, that wouldn't exceed that. Because we do have to be very considerate to that amount. And as we're looking to, you know, obligate all of the funding. I don't want to revert any of it back. And so that is something that my team and I are also considering with every proposal that we get into. So just keep that in mind. It might seem a little gray, but certainly ask questions as you go along and don't hesitate to submit a couple different budgets so that we can kind of see that whole big picture that you might be looking at if it exceeds that $500,000.
Yeah, and just a reminder that when we review these, we will either deny it, award full, or award partial. We did quite a few partials if we felt it didn't fit within the parameters of this grant. So put it all down.
So Julie, this is Sherry again. Just a question. So can somebody work on more than one project? Could you have a couple of things that go into your project?
Yes. We had a couple of them last time that submitted a couple different applications. It was a same, person. We ended up grouping the contract all together, but they submitted 4 applications and we approved them all. So
if we do multiple applications, they're each could be up to 500,000 if it's 500,000 per application. Is that correct?
I would say possibly, like Emily said, we're going to be looking at all these, and we are hoping that, we want to spend all the money. So we may be a little flexible after reviewing.
And is recruitment activities allowable?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
It
yes,
all
and yes.
It all depends on what you're recruiting and asking for. If you're wanting to host an open house and have food and drink, no. If you're doing classes or continuing education or something like that, yes. Any more questions? I mean, everybody's got my email, phone number. Call me if you have more questions, if you think of them later on this. But get your applications in. This is kind of a once in a lifetime thing. And we, you know, we're looking forward to seeing what you come up with. If there is no more questions, I am done unless Emily has something she wants to add.
I do not. I just would charge everybody to think big and to look at regionalization through a lens in which it's collaboration within your community and surrounding communities. Um, and get creative. Obviously, we've got some boundaries and parameters that are out there, given the guidelines of the money. But I'll say it again, we I don't want to revert any of this money back. This is once in a lifetime money for EMS. It's not a lot of money, but boy, almost $8 million total. That's significant, and we've never seen that before. And so I want to make sure that services are taking advantage of that in what works for them, but also it it's really imperative to look at the sustainability of your service and what that looks like from a community readiness and lifting up your community as it ties back to EMS profession. So very exciting. And yes, don't hesitate to reach out to Julie each step of the way, or any one of our team members. We're happy to help guide you through that. Julie, did you go through all of the timelines and making sure that folks know when the deadlines are for you? You probably did, and I missed it.
Yes, I did. I told them that the application is open.
Yep.
It opened August 1st. The deadline for getting your application in is September 30th at 5 p.m. Central Time. And we will be awarding about mid-October. You'll be getting letters, whether you were denied, you were awarded, partial award, everybody's going to get a letter. And then you have to have your project done and the funding spent by November 29th of 2026.
Correct.
So yeah, if there's no more questions, we'll let everybody get back to work.
Thanks for putting this together. It's so helpful.
Thanks,
You're
Julie.
welcome.
Yes. And don't hesitate to join any of the other webinars we have scheduled too. So thanks all. Bye.
Bye.